Hi. So it's been a while since I've been blogging. It's been a while since I've been vlogging, and I just thought that it was time for a new vlog. And I'm a bit rusty because this is the first vlog since maybe a few months. And in this vlog, I just want to share where I'm at my process. So, um, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about, call it the journey that I've walked my entire life to this point in time today, um, I just think what comes up to mind immediately is how much more, how many more obstacles I have left to overcome, what else I need to perfect. In other words, what is imperfect, what is demented, what is damaged about myself. And, but yeah, I'll start with see, I have a pattern of emotional eating, especially late at night, and also masturbation. And it's been said that the reason why it keeps on repeating is because I did not apply myself in the moment to the missing ingredient to changing that pattern was and is myself, apparently. So I've been pondering about that, and the masturbation habit comes around every 7 days or so, and I would like to feel guilty about it and regret, but um, the outcome of regretting and feeling guilty is just so suboptimal and even more damaged, even more demented, that why not just not go there? And so I don't go there. And but the pattern is still repeating. The pattern the pattern is part of me, but it's a very persistent point because this destructive pattern is also together with this other pattern of feeling doomed twice every week. So around every 3 or 4 days, I get this, I create this sense of what's the use anyway? Uh, I should I should start all over from the beginning. Thoughts like that, and yeah, those are the two main preoccupations as of today. And I get that at some point I have to stop treating my, call it, doomed mood as something that happens to me like the weather, and instead take more responsibility to stop it even before it begins to accumulate force. Because with my common sense deductive reasoning, there is no chance in hell, like this is guaranteed. Something that is so overwhelming and overpowering, like a negative emotion, with that force that makes me genuinely believe that nothing else exists except for this sense of doom, that had to have accumulated somehow through my secret mind. And it's like the same thing is true for the masturbation pattern, where at the end of 7 or 8 days, it all just accumulates into this overwhelming impulse. And this part of it is this sense of ill losing, this sore loser pattern where I believe that I will be losing something by restraining myself from masturbating. And this mental structure system program that convinces me, where I convince myself that it's more convenient to just get on with it, when I am of the conviction that masturbation, especially with porn, which I am doing, is like the foundation basic, is the basic bedrock foundation of irrational behavior, disregarding common sense principles of living. So in my mind, this masturbation pattern is like the forefather of impulsivity, of impulsive buying, of promiscuity, of just impulsive in general. And perceiving this impulsiveness to be apparently what is spontaneity, but it's not. It's, I mean, every hair on the head is counted, so that means there's like a chain of logic to it that justifies the pattern of being impulsive. Um, so aside from the two main obstacles that I'm working with, um, my day by day living, like, thank God, thank me, that I'm getting better than I was yesterday. And that has been gratifying, reassuring. What's the word? Complimentary, but I just I'm channeling the excitement to make myself even more active in quantifying, which is just a fancy word for counting the examples and case studies and points that I walk within a day. And this period of time of a few months of just walking my process, I'm beginning to have a sense that walking process doesn't have to be this forceful thing, and change is not always forceful. Sometimes change is gently stepping back. Sometimes change is slowing down. And another point that I'm implementing, in the process of implementing, is equal emphasis on every breath, because I'm finding gobsmacks of detail and things that I've missed that are within each and every breath that I take. And the thing about breath is you can't really skip a breath. It's so critical to living that if I miss a breath, I'm practically dead. And that doesn't occur to our mind. That doesn't occur to my mind. Um, in my mind, I like to highlight what I believe is important, and then pine to the importance of important stuff, things, and people. But in naming something or someone as important, you're also defining the other side of the equation where some other things and other people are unimportant. So in the example of how to apply self-honesty, that is the opposite of self-honesty, because self-honesty is about equality and oneness, and a facet of equality is like equal emphasis breath by breath. And I'm having fun with that. Yeah, I'm feeling much more fuller and like a sponge that has absorbed water when I go into the detail of being here in every breath. And an exercise that I recommend, if you have the money and the time, is listening to the Reptilian series on EQAF, EQAFE, every question answered for everyone. And this is not a sell, this is my personal practice. I go through sequentially the EQAF interviews, and recently I've been going through the third time this reptilian series, and it's especially relevant to this vlog, um, because there are a lot of points and a way of seeing that is so characteristic of that reptilian series that I believe that if everyone had the guts to unconditionally listen to what is being shared in the reptilian series on Equaf, that the world would be a better place. You would be in a better place. And I verified this for myself. I'm applying it to my own mind. I'm practicing it every day. And I'm practicing listening to the Equaf interviews, i.e., the reptilian series, from the first one and going sequentially. And what I find great about that is you have to be like sitting upright and with your eyes open while you listen to the interviews, because they tend to make one fall asleep. It's not that the interviews make you fall asleep, it's that there's a part of us in our minds that know, it's like on a deep level, we know if we would hear some of what is being shared, it would blow our minds, it would break the foundations of our brainwashing and everything that we know, everything that we lean on that we know, that um, so that's why you would, for example, fall asleep while you're listening to a 40-minute interview. And I personally listen to the interviews at 2 times speed, so the 40 minutes becomes 20 minutes. And you can do that too. I recommend it, actually. And yeah, process is walking. Like, as long as you are moving forward, the fact that you're moving forward is more important than how fast you move forward. Contrary to the ideologies of competition, jealousy, um, rushing, hasting, capitalism, profiting, like, it goes against all of that. When you are applying the statement of man, know thyself, you actually walk faster by going slower, by slowing down with your breathing and seeing the obvious of what is here. And you start with one point. You're like in a room full of strings hanging down, and your tool of breath only allows you to cut one string or one point at a time. And that I found is a pretty apt analogy of walking process. And the first step is always the most important. So that's me in March 17th, 2026. Here's to more vlogs. Thanks. Bye.